Speaking, I'm the assistant head teacher for year 4, 5 and 6, and this is just to talk you through and hopefully give you lots of information about the year 4 residential. Now, this is taking place on Monday the 21st of March. We'll be staying overnight, staying there all day Tuesday the 22nd of March, again staying overnight, and then be there for most of the day on Wednesday the 23rd of March, meaning they'd come back in time for the end of the school day, as normal, for you to pick them up at 20 past 3 on that Wednesday. Now, the idea behind this is so that you can kind of find out a little bit about the residential, hopefully have lots of your questions answered, and if there's any afterwards, of course, feel free to speak to myself, Mr. Lum, or any of the year 4 members of staff, and we'll try our best to help you out. Hopefully, this can be something that you and your children are really excited about. See, it's a great opportunity for them to go, stay away from home, enjoy themselves, and maybe even give you a little break. And just make the most of it, really, because this is a fantastic opportunity. You'll see some of the brilliant activities that we're doing whilst we're there, and I'll click on so you can find out a little bit more about it. So, this year we're staying near Buxton in the Peak District, and where we'll be staying is called YHA Hartford Hall. It's a youth hostel specialising in school trips when they go on these residentials, and it's a 17th century manor house building. It's got an amazing central location, the beautiful Peak District, so it's perfect for us in terms of us, the activities we're going to be doing whilst we're there, the walking around, going to different places like Matlock Farm, which you'll find out a little bit more about as I go on. Now, the reason we chose Hartford Hall is because it can hold all of the children in year 4, so it'll be perfect. If every child in year 4 wanted to go and the parents wanted them to go, we could accommodate all of them, which is amazing. We don't want anybody missing out who would like to come. It has a range of foods. We'll eat breakfast there on Tuesday and Wednesday. We will have packed lunches provided from there on the Tuesday and Wednesday too. And each evening, Monday and Tuesday, we'll have our hot dinners there. So one of the great things about it, they're used to having schools there. They can accommodate and provide for even the pickiest of eaters. Doesn't matter how fussy they are. And of course, they can also accommodate for children who may have special dietary requirements, whether it's for medical reasons or religious reasons, where they'll be able to sort all of that out for you. So one of the great things about the residential is after they've stayed at home with you on the Monday morning, had their breakfast there, you bring them into school, and then that's their meals sorted for Monday, dinner time, tea time, Tuesday all day, and for breakfast on Wednesday and dinner time on Wednesday. You just have to give them the tea when they came back to you on Wednesday evening. And of course, if they go to breakfast club on the Monday, you'd be able to do that as normal too. So, kind of just touched on this. The children would come to school as normal on the Monday. Whether they normally go to breakfast club, that's fine, they can still do that. Or if you normally just bring them in at 10 to 9, that's perfect too. They would come with their bags packed ready for the residential. So what we would say to the children is on that day, they wouldn't come in their school uniform. They'd come in something suitable for walking in the Peak District in, not something nice that they don't want to get muddy or wet, something that's going to be absolutely fine if it gets a little bit dirty. Then chance for you guys to say goodbye, maybe wave us off as we get onto the minibuses and travel in convoy to the Peak District. What we do there is we get off, have a little walk around the area, and hopefully the weather's all right so that we can sit and have a nice picnic outside. Then we'd explore a little bit more of the Peak District, and then in the late afternoon we'd head over to our youth hostel in time for dinner and get the children settled into their rooms, where they'll be staying with their friends. Hopefully, they'll have managed to pair up with each other, and we can help them out if there's any issues with that kind of thing. And for many of them, it might be their first time staying away from home, which will be really exciting. And on the evening after eating their dinner, we'll do some activities. There's a little photograph of one of the places we might stop and have our picnic. Amazing scenery. Then on Tuesday, get up and have our breakfast at the youth hostel, and then they'd provide us all with packed lunches, and then we'd head off for a wonderful day at Matlock Farm. Now, Matlock Farm is amazing. The children get the chance to just walk around, see some of the animals, feed some of them, learn about them with a couple of talks that we'll have. There's little play areas on there. They've now got a brand new for this year, it's like a huge trampoline that all the children can go onto. And then after we've had a brilliant day at Matlock Farm, we'd return to the youth hostel, have our dinner, walk around the local area, check that out, and hopefully if the weather's good, we can do some outdoor games before bed. And if not, have some fun inside. So that's just a little photograph of some of the kind of activities and the animals at Matlock Farm. And if you wanted to just check it out a little bit more, you could Google Matlock Farm. Their website is really useful. On the Wednesday, we would get up and have our breakfast at the youth hostel, and then we'd be asking the children to all pack their bags, because after that, we'd be jumping back on the minibuses, and we wouldn't be heading back there. Instead, we'd be making a trip over to Eyam, the famous plague village, where we can hopefully give them a little bit of history, some facts about it, have a walk round, find out what the people in the village tried to do to help stop the plague spreading to other areas. And then we'd just up the road from there, there's a little local park next to a school, have a play on there, and then after we've eaten our packed lunches, we'd jump back on the minibus and head back to school in time for the end of the day, and you can hear hopefully all about the amazing time they've had on their trip. It's something that the children always talk about throughout the rest of their time in primary school, right up until when they leave in year 6, so it really is a great opportunity. And here's just a photo of one of the many famous houses in Eyam, where the plaque gives you a little bit of information about the family that lived in that village and what they did, the precautions and measures they took. Now, of course, with every residential, there is a cost. We like to think we're doing our best to get as many children as there possible this year, because the cost to us as a school is actually costing us over £72 per child, and we're subsidising that using the pupil premium money, trying to help, hopefully, as many of you as possible send your children on this brilliant trip. So it would just cost £30. That obviously includes all of the food they'd have whilst they're there, staying over at the accommodation, the transport, the trip to Matlock Farm. So we're hoping you can see it as a great opportunity and brilliant value. Now, I'm aware that this is quite a short turnaround from announcing this to you all. That's because with COVID and lots of things that have been happening recently, we weren't actually sure whether it would be able to go ahead until just now. So what we're asking, if you would like your child to come along and they're keen to, please, can you pay a £10 deposit using the school's online payment system before Friday the 4th of March? So that's the 4th of March. That will secure your place, and then you'd have right up until we go on the trip on Monday the 21st of March to pay the rest of the amount off, the remaining £20. If you want to pay it all at once, the £30, of course, you're more than welcome to, but all we need to secure your child's place is £10. Now, I mentioned it earlier, but if after hearing this, you've got any more questions, you can speak to myself, Mr. Sharpe, or you can speak to Mr. Lum, the head teacher, or any of the staff in Year 4. Really is a great opportunity. The children love it when we go. It gets them out in the fresh air, seeing some of the sights that, out there in the middle of the Peach District and walking around. They won't even be able to see houses at some points. They won't be able to see the cities, and for some of them, they just think, wow. They might even feel like they're in another country, so it is brilliant. They'll love it. And we just hope as many of the children as possible can come. We've got enough accommodation for them all to be there if they would like to. Now you might be thinking, well, what do they need to pack? What do we need to send to them? We'll give you that kind of information a little bit closer to the time. This is just the initial meeting, so you can find out about the residential. Thank you for your time, and I hope it's something that you're interested in.